A home base, does it bring stability or anxiety? As I reflect on that home base option, I begin to think of those two different emotions. I begin to think of a home base. What it does provide is a level of stability where you don't have to find a place to park safely and legally every night. And you also have a direction. So at the end of every night, you aren't kind of aimlessly wandering. And even when you stay at a campground for a couple weeks, you kind of have a feeling in the back of your mind knowing that you aren't settled. And so a home base gives you a settled feeling in your mind. It gives you a direction so that you know you're not just drifting. And for many people, that's important because they need to have a direction. They need to have a focus. You have to be very self-disciplined to have no home base and to live a positive and productive life. It's true. People don't realize that, but I think they do as they get into this journey. That's why many people who have gotten to the nomadic life, car living, van living, RV living, they last 8, 12 months max, and then they go back to a conforming life, or they go back to buying a home base or something like that. I've been 2 years, going on 3 years now, full-time on the road, living in my car. I owned a condo for 15 years, and that has helped me. Owning a condo previously in my life for 15 years helped me and helps me because I understand the reality of home ownership. I don't romanticize about it. Like, if you've never been in a relationship, if you've never owned a home, you romanticize about how wonderful it will be because you don't know the reality. It's like, you've never been married, you fantasize like, oh, this is going to be magical. And I'm not saying there isn't magic and there isn't greatness to ownership or to commitment, but there's a lot of sacrifice and entanglement and anxiety. Anxiety, especially for me, comes from a never-ending commitment and a deep entanglement that you feel like you can't just decide to get out of. You have to go through a long, drawn-out process, whether it's to sell a property or whatever you need to do. You can't just change your mind. And I like the ability to just change my mind. I like my freedom and I like my flexibility. And when I feel like my freedom and my flexibility is constrained, I get anxiety. I got an appointment at a car repair place to get my brakes done in a couple days. And I've been thinking about it for like a week, that I'm committed to this one car shop. I got to be in this area for this amount of time. I got to hand over my car. And just that whole commitment of, I have to drop my car off. I have to have them work on it. How's it going to go? It's just that I can't just roam freely that day. I have obligations. And that plays with my mind. It causes anxiety. You're always evaluating, is the trade-off worth it? Look, I got to get my brakes done, so it is what it is. But again, it's having a car, van, or RV, it's one thing to take care of. Having a car, van, or RV and a property and a home base, that's two things to take care of. And a home, whether it's a piece of land or a condo or RV lot or a single family house, it's not just one thing. It's multiple things. Because at minimum, you're going to have the property. You're going to have property taxes, meaning you have to deal with all, not just one, all of the rules and regulations of the municipalities. You're going to have utilities. And, you got to inhabit a land, even if you buy a raw piece of land, if you're going to legally live on it, you have to have utilities. You have to have sewer and things like that because they want to know that the waste and the things are going somewhere. They're not just, throwing shit on the ground. So, then you got utilities you're obligated to. If you're going to buy into a community because you don't want to buy in the middle of nowhere and develop a land, you actually want to be by civilization, you want to be by the beach, you'd have HOA. Most homeowners associations have 200-300 people in them. You just got married to 200-300 people. Now, you don't have to talk to them. You can keep your head down and walk around the community, but their eyes are on you. So, you see how it starts to build up. And if you have a mortgage, if you get a loan, now you're obligated to them. And you see how progressively all these anxieties build up because it's not just one thing. It's not just your house. It's your utilities. It's your maintenance. It's your cable guy. It's your neighbor. It's your HOA president. It's your loan officer. It's, I have to come fix something on your house. Be there between 8 a.m. to noon. It's entanglement. I know because I don't have to romanticize about it. I've lived it for 15 years. I own a house. Now, for 2 years I lived on the road. Your biggest problem is where you're going to park. And campgrounds are helpful. Free parking, you can do it if you're willing to move. A lot of driving. Driving's dangerous. The payoff is freedom. But they both have sacrifice. There's no perfect answer. I still think about a home base. I'm glad I didn't buy that home base that I was looking at. People who watch this channel, I was looking at a home base for $25,000 in Florida about 6 months ago. And one of the things I researched before I was consider buying it was there was raw empty land behind the RV lot. And I said, man, this is beautiful. I got a great view. I thought it was like a nature preserve. But come to find out, it was raw, undeveloped land when I did my research. And that was one of the big negatives, because I always worried, I had an anxiety that if a developer bought that land behind me and develops it, I'll be looking at the back of another RV. And sure enough, that's what's just happened. They have that piece of land up now for development. And I question myself if I made the wrong decision not getting that property. And now more and more, I think I made the right decision not getting it. So, there's an anxiety there, guys, when you have a home. There's an anxiety, though, when you don't have a home. I still lean on freedom and flexibility. I mean, you can't live cheaper. You can't live cheaper if you're just going to roam around, mix in free camping with some paying camping. You can't beat it. Even over time, a house would have to appreciate, or a piece of land would have to appreciate a lot. Because you're not just paying for the land, you're paying for the ongoing property taxes, the ongoing maintenance, the ongoing utilities, the ongoing things that just never stop. And you can't control that, and there's an anxiety there because you're on the hook. It comes with benefits, but there's give and take, guys. There's no perfect answer, but I still looking at home bases. I have my eye on a couple right now, but it's hard for me to cross that mental barrier because I have to see enough upside. And at my age, sacrificing still that level of freedom and flexibility, I'm not there yet. I could be there tomorrow or in 5 minutes. I like leaving my mind open to change my mind. I make that a note in a lot of my videos that tomorrow, if I want to change my mind, I will. I try not to fix myself into, I have to only eat vegetables. I like to say I'm 90% plant-based. And most of the time, I have no desire to eat, and I don't eat meat. But I like to have a little flexibility. I like to not consider myself one sect of religion. So, I can give myself freedom to think for myself and not to conform to other people's traditions and thought processes. I like freedom. I don't want to be confined to someone else's thinking or rules or regulations. But in society, to be fair now, you got to kind of play the game a little bit. You got to feel, you don't want to be a rebel just to be a rebel. You want to do what's best and wise and good for you and everything like that. So, I still haven't got to the point where I think it's best for me to buy a home base. Everyone should do whatever they want for them. Do you, I'll do me, and we'll go from there. But the home base, it brings a level of stability, but it brings a level of anxiety for me. I got anxiety thinking about my brake appointment that I got for my car in 2 days. I got anxiety about it. Imagine me closing on the house. That's how I felt. That's how I feel. I get all worked up. So I don't know. Maybe I'm destined not to have a house, just like I'm destined to be single, which I'm glad I stayed single, guys. I wanted to be in a relationship for several years. I thank God that burned off my soul. I'm not built for that. I don't want that. I could do it. Yeah. I mean, you can do a lot of things in life, but that don't mean you should. But everyone should do what they want. All right. If you want a home base, well, look, most people do want a home base. I'm abnormal. I did a survey on it. Most people want a home base. 99% of society wants a home base. I am an abnormal person in society. I'm on the fringes, all right? I'm a person who likes to live in his car. I may want a home base to add some stability, but I want very little to take care of. I don't want a family. I don't romanticize about me finding a magical nomad girl and building a life together. I don't want that. So again, I'm odd, as far as I'm not the normal person. So normal people want to eventually find someone. They want to settle down. They want to, that's not me, guys. So I respect, though, that I shouldn't tell the majority of people what to do. That's what they want to do. They want a conforming religion. They want a conforming way of life, and that's their life. And I should say, God bless. I want to do me. You do you. So, that's what it is, guys. All right. Peace and love.